Hello, everyone. This is Iron Crow here, and let me just tell you what I've been feeling over the past week or so. Just incredible relief that BioShock Infinite review is done. Man, that took a lot of work, and I guess that should be obvious by the fact that it's an hour and 24 minutes. Yeah, it's not the longest video I've ever made, but it's getting up there. So, talked about quite a few issues in that review. Left out some issues, too. That review, as long as it was, could have been even longer. Keep that in mind anytime you feel like you want to complain about the length. I could have made it even longer. So, of the issues that I did talk about, one of them was, and the working title for this section was Killable Human Female Enemies, I believe is what I called it. And yes, this game does have killable human female enemies. And as gamers, we know how rare that is. We know that in most games where you're shooting people, those people are going to be 100% male. And that's just the nature of the industry. That's the nature of the settings that games of this genre are set in, where there aren't going to be a huge number of women standing in the way of the player character, whoever he is, from accomplishing his goals. And so to see it in BioShock Infinite was kind of it was unexpected for me. Certainly unexpected. Now, the first time that I encountered a killable human female enemy in BioShock, I wasn't quite sure what had happened. It didn't instantly click with me that I had just killed a woman who was in the same type of uniform as the rest of the goons that I was killing, the Columbia Authority uniform. And so when I killed her, I heard like a death rattle sound, which was maybe a little bit higher pitched than I would typically expect from one of these goons. And I go over to loot the body because, this is BioShock Infinite. You got to loot everybody's corpse to make sure you can get the Silver Eagles, get the ammo off of them. So I go over, and yes, indeed, it is a killable human female enemy. So, in the review, I talk about this. I point this out, and I do so in an entirely satirical manner. That whole section, from front to back, start to finish, was entirely sarcastic satire. That's not really what I think of this issue. So I think now is an opportunity to talk about my real views on this issue. For me, it's not ideological at all. I don't think that you need to have killable human females, and for reasons similar to what I gave in the review, which was just nonsense. Like, we need to show that human female heads pop just as satisfyingly as men. That's all BS. That's a joke. That's not really anything to do with what I think about this. Really, my perspective on that issue and on gaming as a whole is entirely entertainment value. I don't think of all this stuff from an ideological perspective because that isn't the point of my gaming. That isn't the point of my gaming hobby. It is the point of the feminist destroyers who are coming into gaming, claiming to be gamers, and making their proclamations that this stuff is sexist and therefore needs to not exist and needs to change, whatever the particular issue they're complaining about is at any point in time. They are people who are coming into gaming because it is somewhere that their ideology is not completely and entirely dominant. That is what they are. They are supremacists. They are here to assert control and to make sure that everything that goes on is within the bounds of what they deem to be ideologically consistent with whatever it is that they believe in. Now, we got to fight this because it is going to tarnish the entertainment value of games, just spanning every genre. It is going to tarnish the ability of games designers to create the experiences that they decide they want to give to players. They have to have some other criteria that they need to keep in mind other than what is going to be a good experience for the players. That is bullshit. I don't want my games developers that are trying to create games to entertain me to worry about nonsense like whether feminists are going to attack them for this. So that's what Red Pill Game Reviews needs to do, is defend gaming, defend the creative freedom, and make sure that there are arguments available to these developers that lets them know, yes, you can do these types of games that feminists don't like, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a hater. It doesn't make you someone who's perpetuating violence or distrust or misogyny or whatever the case may be. You are someone creating entertainment for people like me, and maybe it's not something that I would enjoy. It's something that some other person would enjoy, and that is the point of video gaming, not to be some ideological battleground. And maybe I do have the impression that some viewers maybe think that that's what I'm doing here. It's not. It's all about keeping video gaming somewhere where we can get a huge variety of experiences, a huge number of ideas can be portrayed to us, and we can decide whether we enjoy it or not, whether it expands our mind or not, whether it's something that we take away from the gaming experience and put into effect in our own lives. And you see this in my BioShock Infinite Red Pill review. I just talk about all these different serious issues. And the point of view is, does it entertain me? That's what it's about. That is what it's about to me. So, in the furtherance of my entertainment, I like to have a variety in player characters and enemy characters and all of this stuff. It's all about the variety to me, because I don't like killing the same enemy over and over, It's nice to see something else to shoot at every once in a while in my FPS game. And to see a human female who is required for me to kill, that's fine. I think that's great. That is something that is a very unusual experience, and to have that experience is entertaining. That's entertainment value in and of itself. So I don't have any criticism of BioShock Infinite for having these human female characters. And do I have any praise for it? Yeah, I'll praise it. I'll give it some praise for stepping outside of the mold of just having a bunch of men for you to mow down and perforate with your bullets and burn with your incineration vigors. So I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that. And BioShock 1 was the same way as well. There were female splicers. So that's all pretty cool. BioShock Infinite just continued what they had done in previous games. So nothing unusual for the BioShock series there. So I want to know what you guys think about all of this. Do you think it's better to have at least some human female enemies in your shoot-'em-up games? Or do you think that just males, all 100% males like most games is okay? Or would you even like to see games where 100% of the enemies are human, female, and something that is just, I guess, an inversion of the current state for most action games and FPS games? For me, I think it'd be interesting to see a game where all of the killable enemies are female. Just think, what kind of setting would a game like that have to where just having all women as the enemies would make sense? That'd be a pretty fucking weird setting, in my opinion, and that's something I want to see. Who can think of a way to make that a believable and engrossing setting? Probably isn't possible, to be honest, because it doesn't jive with our expectations of, if there's going to be guards, they're going to be males. If they're going to be thugs and gang members, they're going to be males. If you're an outlaw and you're fighting the police officers are going to be sent to stop you are going to be mostly males. Let's be completely realistic about this. But I would love to see a gaming scene, a development scene where there isn't political correctness, and if some developer thinks, hey, I can make this shit work, then they are able to do that without fear of being called misogynist for just repeating the same thing that goes on for males in most of these types of games. So let me know what you think about the issue. And it's time for me to get back to work on the next Red Pill review, and I'll have some other videos coming out in the meantime. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.